Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us in London for the film festival. If you could just begin with an introduction to your film and tell us a bit about what audiences can expect.
Hello, I'm Mara Polgovsky, I'm Mexican, and I am the co-director together with my late brother, Eugenio Polgovsky, of Malintzin 17. This is a documentary that Eugenio, my brother, shot before his death, so I finished it in the aftermath. He had before that finished four feature documentaries. His work dealt a lot with issues of childhood and the relation between humans and nature. And this film it kind of goes in the same direction, but it kind of completely shifts the scale. It's a very intimate and minimalist portrait of fatherhood and childhood. It kind of portrays the beauty of a 5-year-old mind, which is the main character, and it's all shot from a very specific point of view, which is a window looking at the street. So we see for 7 days and 7 nights, we see from this window a little bird that's nesting, and we see the streets of Mexico City. And it's all about precisely that parallel relationship on the one hand between a 5-year-old girl and her father, which is also the filmmaker, between a bird nesting its chicks. So we have these kind of human and non-human relationships. And although everything feels so minimal, it actually becomes rather universal when we start dealing with the issues at stake, the kind of conversations that come up between father and daughter. Also, it really invites us to look at the world like quite attentively. Something we don't tend to do. To like really stay in a place and look and learn, and the more we see, the more we discover. Some people have also described it as a pandemic film because we're all like enclosed in one space for 7 days, and it's kind of the same experience that we all lived in 2017 when kind of the world became small in a way because we weren't able to fly or leave our houses, and that immediate neighborhood became our universe. And that this is the kind of film I'm presenting here at the London Film Festival.
And tell us a bit about the journey of making the film and what were some of the really challenging moments, but on the other side of it, some of the highlights.
Yes, so I had worked with my brother before for several of his films, much more as a co-editor, as a producer. I myself studied scriptwriting, but I've never been a director, so this is my first feature film. One of the challenges was that the photographer and co-director had passed away, so obviously it was kind of a process also of mourning him and missing him and coming to terms with his absence. But the film itself became a process of bringing him to life. In fact, he becomes one of the characters, while in his previous work he hadn't been one of the characters. So we hear his voice. We never see him, but we hear his voice, and we see the 5-year-old, and we see the little bird. Those are like the three main characters, let's put it this way. So that was challenging, but also, as I say, rewarding, the absence of my brother. I also would say that there wasn't a lot of material, so I'm dealing with a documentary that was shot even before I started working on it. So it's not like when you're shooting a fiction and you say, okay, I can put an insert of this or insert of that. I had 6 hours of material, and I had to, out of that, make a narrative, a feature documentary. So I had to basically work very delicately with every instant of what we had. It's like a found footage film, rather than any kind of production that you imagine and you make. We had also technical limitations because everything had been shown from this window with a Mark III camera. Like, there wasn't great technology involved, and the sound was all coming from that camera. So we had to come to terms with that. But also, I mean, that led to a really fascinating sound design, in which we were able to both work with the original sound and to then bring in a script of kind of urban sounds that really portray kind of the rhythms of Mexico City, the layers of Mexico City, all the different street characters of Mexico City. And that's really something that the audience has appreciated a lot, like getting to know this city, but not from the usual angles, like you're in a residential road, which however has a lot of life. They have people coming to like sell bread and sell food, and kind of sharpened knives, and each one of them brings a new note, a new sound. So it's a very kind of subtle but delicate and kind of layer sound design that I really enjoyed working on that too. It's like something that I've not done before and was really a discovery, and it's probably the most beautiful part of filmmaking.
And what do you hope that people will take away from watching your film?
So the film was shown on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here at the London Film Festival. It's been shown around the world, and everyone tells me that because it's so intimate, you actually almost like live the film. So you leave when you leave the venue, you're like actually like I've been there.
Yeah.
I want to stay there more, and it's something they really it stays with people. It stays as an experience, and I like these kind of films which really kind of awaken your senses, make you see the world differently, and even the color, the guy doing the color correction, he started telling me, no, now I'm like walking around the street and I'm looking at every bird and I see every bird as a persona, as a person, rather than as some kind of contextual being. So it gives life to a world that we often tend to ignore. And I think I treasure the fact that people are able to take away this kind of very intimate experience and then bring that to the way in which they deal with their children, deal with nature, giving children a lot of power and agency to themselves become, let's say, the co-directors of the film, because there are moments in which this 5-year-old becomes really the main voice, telling the camera what to do. Yeah, thank you.
I think I'm out of time, but thank you so much for sharing all that with us. I'm really enjoyed presenting your film here in London. Thank you.
Thank you.